Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the UAFS Surgical Technology Pinning Ceremony of 2026. My name is Holly Varner, this year's president of the Surgical Technology Student Association. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and for helping us acknowledge and celebrate our journey to this achievement. At this time, I would like to invite you to join in the dining festivities provided by Catfish Hole and Fried Rice. Our guest speaker this evening is Dr. Kyle Basham, a board-certified urologist practicing in the Fort Smith area. He obtained his Bachelor of Science in Biology at the University of Central Arkansas in Conway, graduated medical school from UAMS in Little Rock, and completed both his general surgery and urology residency at the University of Tennessee Graduate School of Medicine in Knoxville. Dr. Basham was chosen to be our guest speaker tonight, not only from his expertise demonstrated, but from his welcoming attitude and incredible kindness shown towards the students of the UAFS Surgical Technology Program. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Kyle Basham.
Well, good evening. Thank you. That's pretty loud, so sorry if it's too loud. But yes, thank you very much. Kyle Basham. I'm originally from Alma, Arkansas, and been back here now for about 9 years after all the training and everything else. But thank you to everyone who somewhat selected me. Probably just Haley. She probably just strong-armed everyone else into it. And for all the families here with all the graduates, that's awesome. Obviously, it's a big accomplishment that they've had, and then the graduates, yourself. Thank you for having me. Certainly a good one. I came across some quotes, looking up things about old surgery stuff and different things, and one of them was and it didn't have who it came from, so who knows where it came from, but that a great scrub tech can make an average surgeon better, and that's probably true. It's probably what got me through the first few years. But a bad one can make a great surgeon struggle. So, that's kind of the point, right? Is to be on that first end and not the latter end. But I don't know, those of you that went to Baptist, and I don't know if everyone does, I don't think so, how that works, but you know a character named Aaron Becker, okay? And there's all these nods around the room, and he labeled me with something years ago, and it's kind of what the topic of what I wanted to kind of say was tonight. He told me that I exhibit enlightened self-interest, and it kind of sounds fancy, but it's not. And self-interest sounds kind of selfish, and it kind of is, but the enlightened part is what's important, okay? And you look that up, and it kind of says the idea that when you help the entire team succeed, you ultimately help yourself too. And that's exactly why I do it, right? That's why I do a lot of what I do outside of the actual surgery, working as a team. And that's the point, is a team, right? You're not just a scrub tech, and I'm not just a surgeon, and they're not just anesthesia and the circulators, right? It's all a team, and we all have an active participation, within the OR. And so, people may not remember every person that's in the OR, right? The patients don't. They're under anesthesia most of the time, right? But they obviously have a major impact from all of you and all of the whole team that's there. And that's what, and that's what you have to kind of remember, right? That it is still obviously a very important role as a whole. So, the things like your preparation, your anticipation during the case, right? I know probably you get, taught these things in some ways, and then a calmness all directly affect, the patient care. It affects the efficiency in the OR. It affects, safety, the outcomes, and really the stress level of everyone, not just the surgeon in the room. But, the best OR functions like a pit crew, or an orchestra, right? Everyone has a slightly different role, but when there's a weak link, it affects the whole system. Everyone matters and all that. I had a teacher from Knoxville. He was from Chicago. He had a really thick Chicago accent, and he kind of demonstrated this, to be honest. I think that's kind of where I might have got it from, is he would mop a floor just if it would help get the team going better. He didn't care. And he would just throw his hands up and go, "Oh, we work as a team." And it's true. No matter what's going on, everyone has that role. So anyway, I asked Ashley, what if I should say anything in particular, and she said, "Oh, tell them what you like or what you don't like or whatever." So you should know by now. You're graduating what we want from you all, right? Overall. One of the biggest things is like that anticipation, right? And the preparation really starts with making sure the room's ready, trays, all those things. But, it's so frustrating when it's not, and you get right in the middle of something, I had to stop what we were doing today, and we had to rotate a table because it wasn't right, and we wouldn't have been able to get the fluoro in where we needed it. And but preparation helps to avoid that stuff and those, that frustration and all. The best of the techs always are thinking ahead, right? You're not just watching what's going on. You hopefully kind of know what's going on, and then you're anticipating, right, the next step, what the next instrument is, what the next step is, and really, you've either got it in your hand before we ask for it, or you have the circulator going to get something that we don't have that we're going to need. And so those are the things that you strive for, right? But those things are good. And then situational awareness, right? It goes between the surgery itself to also just, the whole patient. I mean, the room, the stress level of the surgeon and how they are and how you can help affect that just by being, you need to know them on how to do that, right? Sometimes you can joke around, sometimes you can, but sometimes you need to be quiet. That's what they need, but those are the things that help everything work better. And this was a quote that popped up on some of this, and I told Dr. Terrell, those of you that might know him, one of my partners, the other day. He gets all very anxious about certain things, and I told him, I said, just remember, slow is fast and fast is smooth, or smooth is fast. And he told me at the end of some case he did, he said, I had that in my mind the whole time. And it was like, yeah, that's just how you do things. So, slow preparation prevents fast disasters. So it's just always better to be like that. And then I think the calmness, the demeanor, in a lot of ways, right? Of course, your attitude in general, but a calmness in a stressful situation is important. ORs can become chaotic in a lot of different ways, but if you can slow down mentally, appropriately, stay organized, and do all those things and keep kind of emotions under control, you're going to help a lot of people, right? You're going to help the surgeon, you're going to help the patient as a whole. Calmness is contagious, but so is panic. And so just kind of preparing yourself for those things, I feel like are the mental side is kind of half the battle. So, well, what do you not do, right? You don't develop ego, perhaps. Confidence is important. I tell some of our nurses that too, who may not have it maybe enough in some ways. But arrogance is dangerous, and so and then no one's too experienced to learn something, right? Or learn a better way, or learn a more efficient way. I'm quite focused on efficiency. Those that might know me, if we can trim off a couple minutes here and there, times many different steps that we do throughout the day, that saves a lot of time, and that's good for everyone. But don't stop asking questions in appropriate times, and that goes into even if you feel, obviously a safety problem, a patient, type of thing. You're going to clarify something going on, verify what's going on, and that's going to help keep patients safe, which again is in some ways your primary role, right? The other physical things you do are part of it, but keeping that patient safe and getting them a good outcome is what you're really there for. And don't become complacent, right? That's that familiarity breeds, kind of contempt sort of thing, right? The routine creates that risk of, oh yeah, we checked it, of course we did, and because we did every day and it's never been a problem, but then that day it's a problem, right? And that you don't want that to have a problem for a patient, of course. Done it 1,000 times and don't have to really think about it. Some ways that's good, right? That again, that clears your mind and lets you, focus on something more at hand. But from the steps that you have to do to be the right, to have everything right for the patient, it's still important. And then don't feed into negativity. It's sort of it's also contagious, right? Positive attitudes are always good. They're always welcome. You'll never go wrong in that sort of thing. There's always stress in the OR, but just finding a way to in some ways kind of stay positive, I feel like will carry you a long way. I worked for some general surgeons a long time ago, before going to medical school, and one of them had a real strong Southern accent, and he just would say, Kyle, all you got to do is just do the right thing and be nice to people, and everything was going to work out great. And he kind of is right, you know? I mean, but unfortunately, not everyone can do that. And it's sad to see in a lot of different ways, but it's true. So, you know, the enlightened self-interest, right? So what does that mean for me, for those of you who may not know? Well, I always help move patients over off the table onto the stretcher. I help get stuff set up. I help, because what is that doing? That makes my day go quicker, so I get to go home, you know? I mean, so, but it also makes sure that the circulator's having a good day, and I'm helping her do things. The techs are all, you know, we're all in this together, and we do it all as a team, anesthesia-wise, and again, the patient benefits in the end, right? And so that it's okay as long as your self-interests align with making everything else way better, right? You don't have to be self-deprecating. You don't have to sacrifice yourself necessarily in order for someone else to, you know, benefit. But helping those others succeed, you know, improves, you know, your own life and then the outcomes of again, I feel like about everybody around. So, you know, helping again, you know, circulator, helping students, other students, when y'all have, when you're working and you all have new, you know, tech students come in, helping them learn, that's all things that are going to be better. And when you're doing it to help others, you're going to be helping yourself too. So, and so, because our success as the surgeon is tied to the success of that room and everyone, right? We cannot have in any way a success without everyone else being in that being part of that for sure. So, so again, not having that, you know, it's not my job attitude or I'll, you know, kick this off to the next person having to come in after me, you know, kind of thing. That stuff all comes back around, right? If you believe in karma and all the different factors like that in life, it all comes back around. So going that extra step and doing things that's going to help someone else, and then they're going to turn around and help you. And I can give you a lot of examples of that, of nurses and different people who've busted their butt to try to get something done to help me, to get me done before having to wait on someone else in the OR, because I've helped them in the past too, right? And so, it's just never a bad thing by any means. And so, you know, and part of that is your communication. You have to be assertive appropriately, and in the right times and things and all, but you definitely are allowed to speak up, right? You should speak up in the right way, and in some ways the right time, but overall, if it's a major concern that you have, well, I mean, you've got to say something. Don't be embarrassed or worried or anything else. So that's, I know you get that browbeat into you anyway. There's no doubt. Know those instructors of yours pretty well at this point. So, but you know, a good respectful communication in the OR can 100% save a life. Maybe not in that moment, but you know, possibly down in a day or two or a week or at some point, it will make a difference without a doubt. So, you know, your work really matters, right? This is not, I don't know, I don't look at what y'all do as a job in that basic sense, right? I mean, this is I don't like what I do as a job. I think it's a calling. It's not easy. It's you know, my wife's a teacher, and I went one day to her third grade class a long time ago down in the Little Rock area, and I told them I was going to graduate from the 25th grade, and she said they were just like terrified. You know, she said, no, none of them will go be a doctor now. That scared them to death. I was like, well, but it's true, right? And this is just, you know, the time of your life here spent learning extra things, going through this. And so it's something important, I feel like, for sure. These people put a lot of trust in us. We take it for granted over time. I think we do. I think they, you know, that again, it does become routine and some of that, excuse me, but remembering that they have put an enormous amount of trust in everyone in that room is very important. And so just remembering that what you're there for is to help them become better, get better, and helping the team as a whole is going to be, you know, a major benefit to you professionally, and probably personally somehow or another, you know, as well. So if you prepare well, help others, stay humble, you know, communicate, and then protect that patient, you'll become the perfect example of what you are esteeming to be through all this. So So I encourage you all. Again, am glad that you stuck through it and did it, and you all make a very big difference in a lot of people's lives. You'll lose track, you'll lose count, right, of how many, of course, over years of people that you've had this, very intimate kind of, connection to, and how that's going to make them how that's going to improve their life as well. So be proud of yourself and enjoy everything this evening, and thank you again, and again, just proud to see a room full of people celebrating the success of the group, and it's great. So, all right, thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Basham. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lakin Forrester, and I'm the secretary of the Surgical Technologist Student Association Board, and this is Haley Bray, who's the vice president of the Surgical Technologist Student Association Board, and we get the pleasure of announcing the preceptors of the year for this year. So, these awards were chosen by the students themselves to recognize the individuals who made a lasting impact on our clinical experience, our confidence, and our growth as future surgical technologists. As students, we quickly learned that a great preceptor does more than teach skills. They create an environment where questions are welcomed, mistakes become learning opportunities, and students feel supported while stepping into such a high-pressure field. The 3 people we are recognizing tonight did exactly that. Our first award goes to Patrick Walton. Students describe Pat as someone who always took the time to explain not just what we were doing, but why we were doing it. Pat gave explanations for the things that students wouldn't even know to ask. It gave us an understanding of what specific instruments did during a surgical procedure and what we were looking at. Pat's teaching style made complex situations easier to understand, and his sense of humor helped make stressful days a little lighter. Congratulations, Pat. Our second award goes to Holly Hernandez. Our students consistently described Holly as patient, understanding, and always willing to take the time to teach. In the environment where things move quickly, Holly made students feel comfortable enough to learn, ask questions, and build confidence in themselves. Thank you, Holly, for your kindness, guidance, and dedication to helping students succeed. Congratulations, Holly. Our final award goes to Carly Parton. Students praised Carly for being understanding and taking the time to explain everything clearly. Her funny and outgoing personality made clinical experiences more enjoyable and welcoming. Carly's positivity and encouragement helped students feel included and supported while learning in the operating room. And that kind of impact stays with people long after graduation. Congratulations, Carly. To all 3 of our preceptors, thank you for the time, patience, knowledge, and encouragement you gave us throughout this program. Your influence has helped shape not only our education, but the kind of surgical technologists we hope to become. Please join me in giving another round of applause to our 2026 Preceptors of the Year.
All right, good evening. My name is Dr. Ashley Smith, and I am the executive director of this fine program and these people that we are celebrating today. Hey, Haley. All right, so again, good evening, faculty. My faculty is over here, family, friends, honored guests, and most importantly, the graduating surgical technology class of 2026. So Tonight is more than a ceremony. It is more than caps, which hopefully the majority will be walking with their caps on Saturday, pins, which we will be doing momentarily, photographs, and applause. Tonight represents sacrifice rewarded, perseverance proven, and a calling fulfilled. As executive director, I have the privilege of watching many students walk through our doors with hope, uncertainty, determination, and ambition. But this class has left a lasting impression. And I say that with a positive note. So students, when you first entered this program, many of you carried excitement mixed with fear. You wondered if you were capable of mastering the endless instrumentation, the sterile technique, anatomy, procedures, medications, and responsibilities that seemed overwhelming at the time. You questioned yourselves after difficult exams, exhausting clinical days, and moments when the pressure felt heavier than your confidence. Yet you are here. You did not arrive here because the journey was easy. You arrived here because you refused to quit. There were early mornings when you questioned why you chose this path. There were late nights spent studying while the rest of the world slept. There were moments of self-doubt, tears, frustration, and exhaustion. Some of you balanced work, families, children, financial hardships, and personal struggles while still showing up each day determined to move forward. And somehow, in the middle of all that stress, something remarkable happened. You transformed and you became professionals. You learned that surgical technology is not simply about passing instruments. It is about protecting a patient who may never know your name, but whose life may depend on your precision, vigilance, and skill. It is about being the calm in the middle of chaos. It is about anticipating needs before words are spoken. It is about discipline, integrity, teamwork, and compassion. You learn that excellence in the operating room is built not only by intelligence, but by resilience. I imagine years from now, many of you will look back on this program with a strange kind of nostalgia. One day, you will laugh about the stress that once felt impossible. You will remember racing to finish logging your cases for Mrs. Schaefer, memorizing instruments until they appeared in your dreams, practicing gowning and gloving until it became muscle memory, and surviving those clinical days that seemed never ending. You will remember the classmates who became family. The people sitting beside you tonight understand your journey in a way no one else truly can. They witnessed your victories and your struggles. They encouraged you when you wanted to give up. They celebrated your successes and stood beside you through your hardest days. The bonds created in healthcare education are unique because they are forged under pressure, through sacrifice, and by a shared purpose. Never take those relationships for granted. We all started as strangers and we're leaving as a family. Tonight is also a reminder that behind every graduate is a support system that helped make this moment possible. To the parents, spouses, children, family, members, and friends, thank you. Your encouragement, patience, prayers, sacrifices, and belief in these students mattered more than you may ever realize. This accomplishment belongs to you as well. Graduates, as you prepare to enter operating rooms across this region and beyond, remember this. Your title may say surgical technologist and hopefully certified after Tuesday, but your impact reaches far beyond the sterile field. You will stand beside surgeons during life-changing procedures. You will witness first breaths and final moments. You will help restore mobility, relieve pain, remove disease, and save lives. You will care for people on the worst days of their lives, often without recognition or applause. And although patients may never remember your face, Your presence will matter profoundly. Always remember why you started. Lead with humility, work with excellence, protect your patients fiercely. Treat every member of the surgical team with respect, and never allow routine to replace compassion. There will be difficult days ahead. Healthcare is demanding. Some days will test your confidence and your spirit, but tonight should serve as proof that you are capable of more than you once believed. You belong in this profession, and I can say that to all 11 of you confidently. As the director, I could not be prouder of what you have accomplished. Watching your growth has been truly an honor. Seeing you evolve from nervous students into confident future professionals has been one of the greatest rewards of this work. Tonight, you are no longer simply students of surgical technology. Tonight, you join the profession. And with that comes responsibility, honor, and purpose. So as you receive your pins this evening, wear them proudly. They represent more than academic achievement. They symbolize discipline, sacrifice, courage, and commitment to patient care. Years from now, when you look back at this chapter of your life, I hope you remember not only how hard it was, but also how strong you became because of it. Congratulations, class of 2026. The future of the operating room is brighter because of you. Thank you so much. So, with all of that goopy sentiment, let's keep going. All right. So, every year, I like to give 2 awards before we start pinning and all the other things. The first award that we give is the Academic Excellence Award, and this person has been selected. This person has a 3.0 GPA or higher. This is the criteria. Have to be graduated in the fall of 2025 or be eligible to graduate in the spring or summer of 2026. Have a minimum of 12 hours of coursework in the program for which the award is given. Be in good academic and disciplinary standing within the university, and have demonstrated honesty, integrity, and a strong work ethic. This year's award goes to Ms. Holly Varner. Look at that medal she's sporting. Very nice. Congratulations. 2 medals. Yes, congratulations. The next award, so this award we all knew about. There was a dinner, beautiful dinner, and the class knew about, but this next award is a complete surprise to everybody. This is the Outstanding Clinician Award. This award is voted upon by the instructors of the program. This person has to have a GPA of 3.0 or above, demonstration of leadership ability, demonstration of the application of theory to clinical practice, demonstration of the following professional characteristics: attendance and punctuality, ability to work with others, enthusiasm for the practice of surgical technology, and professional conduct and appearance. And by a sweeping, unanimous vote, this year's Clinician of the Award goes to Mr. Johnro J. Varafanan. Good job. Yes. Let's give those 2 winners another round of applause, please. They earned that one. Yes. All right. Now, before we start pinning, we have another amazing accomplishment to recognize, and right now I'm going to turn this over to Miss Janetta Henry and Stephanie Vaughn. They are from the BAB Center of Career Services, and they will be presenting some of this table's items. So I'm gonna let you all come up and do your thing. All right.
Good evening. I am Janetta Henry, Career Coordinator for the BAB Center for Career Services, and I also have with me Stephanie Vaughn, our Career and Internship Coordinator. I would like to first say congratulations to all the surgical technology graduates. I have enjoyed working with you concerning career development, and I wish each and every one of you the best as you start your surgical technology careers. I'm also grateful to the Surgical Technology Department and Ashley Smith for the opportunity for the BAB Center for Career Services to assist the students in receiving professional development that will help them in all their future careers. We are here to recognize the students who have achieved the Distinction in Professional Development Certificate through the BAB Center for Career Services. This certificate is awarded to students who complete professional development activities that include career development workshops, networking sessions, and career fairs. Those activities alone meet the qualification for the silver level certificate. But these students have went a step further by completing their clinicals in their field of study, participating in volunteer and/or leadership experience, and completing faculty-approved research presentations. And that qualifies each and every one of them to receive the gold level certificate. Yes. To recognize their achievement, in addition to the certificate, they will also be receiving graduation cords, a leather BAB Center pad folio, and a BAB Center lapel pin. And I am happy to announce that this is the first year that every student in the surgical technology program has completed the certificate requirements and will be receiving the gold level certificate. As I call your name, yes, please. And as I call your name, please come to the stage to receive your cords, lapel pin, and pad folio. Now, the certificate will be awarded once final grades are tallied and the provost signs the certificate. So please email me your correct or preferred name you want on your certificate so we can make sure everybody's certificate is what they want. And before you take your seats, after you come up, could you please stand over to the side so we can get a group photo? So I will begin with the first student, and that is Haley Bray. Our next graduate is Lakin Forster. Mackenzie Grimes. Rachel Moore. Tamara Pashier. And I'm sorry, Tamara, I'm sorry. I saw that when you were walking up. Johnro Rafanan. Sorry. Serenity Smith. Right. Annie Savannah Singh. Did I say that right? Okay, thank you. Callie Teague. Stephen Tekathoff. Woo! And Holly Varner. Lastly, I want to remind you students that if you ever need career services in the future, please let us know. As UAFS alums, you are still welcome to our services, and we are so very happy to assist you. Thank you and congratulations.
While they're taking their picture, I'm going to do some more introductions really quick. Just over to your right, we have a whole bunch of administration and people over here. So over here is Dr. Dean Cantu, our Dean of the College of Chess. Wave, there we go, and his lovely wife Sandy, yes. And then we also have Dr. Ryan Banning, who's our medical advisor. Wave, hello. He was in a lot of these pictures, the mock surgery. And then we also have faculty, so let's start with Miss Tammy Schaefer, our clinical coordinator. Hello, yes. And then we have Miss Tamara Morgan, our adjunct faculty, and Miss Rachel Clark, our other adjunct faculty, yes. Thank you. So while they're making their ways, can I have my faculty up here so we can start pinning? Students with your cords, you are encouraged to wear those cords on Saturday if you are walking at graduation. Please, it'll make you look fancy. You getting it? All right, students, when I call your name, you're going to come over here with Miss Clark and Miss Morgan, and you're going to get pinned. Hopefully we don't stab you. And then you're going to come to Miss Schaefer, and she will put your stole on. And then if you will, I guess, line up here, and then you're going to make a mass exodus back over to the marquee lights where we can have a picture with all of your garb on. Is that cool? We could do that? Yes? Okay. Are we ready, ladies? They're going to come that way, yes. All right, so our first to be pinned is Miss Haley Bray. Haley would like to express her sincere gratitude to her family and friends for their unwavering support and encouragement throughout her journey. Their belief in her and continued motivation have played a significant role in helping her achieve her goals. She would also like to extend a special thank you to her father and grandfather for the honor of following in their footsteps and for inspiring her to carry on their legacy with pride. Congratulations. Okay, Lakin Forrester. Lakin thanks her friends and family for making this possible. Special thanks to Brittany for feeding her motivation, Christian for helping her study words he didn't understand, Haley for struggling side by side with her, and her mom, Ashley, for encouraging her when she was overwhelmed. Most importantly, God for putting her in this position. There's always the one. All right. Mackenzie Grimes. Mackenzie would like to thank her grandmother, her family, and her friends for supporting her through this academic journey. Right. 'Right. 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 Rachel would like to thank God for giving her strength to get through every day, her daughters for their patience and kindness, and her family and friends for their support and encouragement. A little blood. Okay. Tamara Pashir. Tamara would like to thank her instructors for their time, knowledge, and patience in the classroom and the clinical sites, her parents and boyfriend for their encouragement and support throughout this educational journey, and her children who were her biggest cheerleaders and wouldn't let her quit. Lastly, her classmates who showed up with her every day, even when they were exhausted mentally and physically. Thanks for making this year memorable. Johnro J. Raffanon. Johnro, yes, whoop whoop. Johnro would like to thank his fiancee Clear and his family and friends Jessica, Dara, Robert, Jessica, David, and Enrique. He's got the fancy guard too. One moment. Annie Suvanasinghe. Annie would like to thank her grandparents, her parents, Nick and Air, her mother-in-law, Pam, her aunt, Tia, her husband, Bobby, and her beautiful daughter, Stella, for all of their love, support, and encouragement throughout this journey. She could not have done it without them. Serenity Smith, thy Serenity Smith. Serenity would like to thank her family for their endless love and support and for being the foundation of her strength for every long night and early morning. She would like to thank her nanny and her mom in particular for the sacrifices they have made so that she could be standing here tonight. They have reminded her of her purpose, potential, and worth. She is grateful to share this moment with her family. Kaylee Teague. Kaylee would like to thank her parents, Jeff and Annette Teague, as well as her grandparents, Carolyn and Leonard Teague, for showing her continuous support and for watching after her son, River, for countless hours to allow her to study and succeed. Without their love and support, none of this would have been possible. Stephen Tegetoff. Stephen would like to thank his mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, and his sisters for all of their love, support, and encouragement throughout this journey. He wouldn't be here without them, and he's so grateful to celebrate this moment with all of you. He thanks you for always believing in him. Holly Varner. Holly would like to thank her whole family, especially her husband, who has been incredibly patient and supportive throughout this process. All right. Okay, if now we can all make our way to the marquee lights, family, friends, everybody, go ahead and go over there. Oh, okay. It's a great photo op, and then we will continue with our program. One moment, please. So, great photo. Okay, y'all can now take them since Ms. Schaefer's done. Your cheeks are gonna hurt from smiling. They're gonna quiver. Okay, thank you all. All right. One more round for those graduates. Yay! All right, now I would love to welcome to the stage Miss Jasmine Smith with the Alumni Office. Yes, and she's gonna say some words about her area and talk to our new alumnus.
Good evening. My name is Jasmine Smith. I serve as the Director of Alumni Engagement here at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. And I'm just curious, has anyone in this room taken classes at Fort Smith Junior College, West Ark, or University of Arkansas Fort Smith? Oh, welcome back home. We're glad to have you back tonight. I'd love to hear your stories. If you have a moment during all the celebration, come back and see me, grab a goodie. I'd love to hear all about your experience here and what you've done since then. This week I've been thinking a lot about what UAFS means to us, and coming on graduation, it's a time of reflection. We should think about all the things that have happened at this place, all the things that we've learned at this place. And the more I thought about it, the more I came to realize that UAFS is so much more than just a place. For so many of us, it's our home for the time that we're here, living on campus. For some of us, it's where we meet our partners in life, our best friends, and some of our greatest mentors. We learn so much inside the classrooms, but probably just as much outside of them as well, getting experience. And all of these things combine into this UAFS experience. It's like nothing else. So I hope that you can all take a moment and reflect on your time here. And as you're attending commencement on Saturday, you can enjoy that. Take a breath and soak it all in. And you should be so proud of yourselves. Now, because UAFS is more than just a place, I want you to know that your relationship with us doesn't end when you cross the stage at commencement. Like Janetta said, we're here for you long after graduation. We want to support you in your careers, and we also want to brag on you. So I hope that you'll stay updated with us. Let us know when you land that first job, or if you continue your education. Tell us about when you get married or when you have your child. We want to celebrate in all of those big life moments with you. And we're here to guide you along the way, not just in career services, but connecting you back to campus as well. Maybe some of you would even be willing to come back and speak to a class and help mentor some students that are going to be in the same shoes you're in right now. I hope that you will. I also want to invite you to Senior Send-Off. That's an event that the Alumni Office is hosting this Friday. We're going to be down at Diggs at the Bakery District, and I have a flyer on each of your tables. Everyone in this room is invited to attend. Bring your friends, bring your family. This is one big hoorah for you the night before commencement. We're going to have free food, and your first drink is on us. So I hope that we'll see you there. I hope that you'll take a moment to register for that. And one of my favorite pieces of this job is that whenever you cross the stage at commencement and you receive your diploma from Dr. Riley, I'll be waiting right at the end of that ramp to catch you and give you your bell tower pin. That's supposed to symbolize your time here at the university. I hope you wear it proudly for years to come, and that you remember, once a lion, always a lion. Thank you and congratulations.
Good evening. On behalf of the class of 2026, I would like to thank everyone who helped make this journey possible. To our instructors and program directors, thank you for your patience, guidance, and for pushing us to be our very best. To our clinical sites, doctors and preceptors, thank you for allowing us to learn and grow through hands-on experience that prepared us for the operating room. To our family and friends, thank you for your constant support and encouragement. We would not be here without you. And to my classmates, we did it. We faced challenges, long days, nerves, and moments of doubt, but we pushed through it together. We learned not only how to be surgical technologists, but how to support one another as a team. And as we move forward into our careers, may we always remember the responsibility we carry and the differences we can make in the lives of our patients. Again, thank you all for being here to celebrate this special milestone with us. And this concludes the Surgical Technology Pinning Ceremony for the class of 2026. Thank you. Also, please join us for a celebratory cake over here on my left. Thank you.